Hey guys, so I've been wanting to do a kind of marker review for a while, especially with Ohuhu because Ohuhu is a more affordable alcohol marker brand, especially for beginners. The Copic brands, they're nice. I actually haven't tried them yet. They look nice, but they are pricey, and if you're just starting out, you you typically don't want to spend like $200 on a few markers, especially if maybe you end up not even liking them. So um, today I got the Ohuhu markers. So I got the 72 pack right here. This is the chisel and the brush nib. And then they recently came out with Fineliners. So I have the Fineliners right here. And then I figured, you know what? Why not try it on the Ohuhu's marker paper? So this one is like, it's a marker pad. So it's like got all these like sheets. And this is actually my first time opening it, so I didn't even notice that this was in here. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go through this and test these markers and the pens on their drawing pad, which is meant for markers, just to see if it's good, if it's worth it. Yeah, so let's jump into it. So the first thing I wanted to do was unbox this. Well, unbag it, I guess. So yeah, as I said in the intro, this is the 72 set. Now, I got the 72, there are multiple sets because of the variety. There is a bigger set than this, but I kind of wanted to give the 72 set a shot, and then really I want the pastel set because even looking at this now, there are a couple pastels, but I know from looking at the pastels description, there are colors in the pastel set that you can't get from the sets that are like this. Anyway, so you get one of these. It says, if you are coloring on thin paper, please put this pad between your color sheets to prevent any bleed through. And I will say the one downside is that because it's in a rounded like this, it's like creased. So yeah, get all of these wonderful colors, and I will swatch these. From what I know, there should be a paper that, yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, paper that tells you all of, ooh, and okay. So, okay, this is different than what I was expecting. So you get this little packet. It says Ohuhu Art Markers Honolulu Series, which is the brush and chisel sets. Those are the Honolulu series. So you open this up and it tells you about the brand, what they're doing, what art markers you can get. And here we go. Okay, this is what I was expecting. So it has all the colors here. From experience with art in general, you want to, it's nice to have this, but you want to swatch it on regular paper because what you see here is not really always going to be what you see on paper. And so I was not expecting to get these little swatch sets. So we're going to try these as well. But personally, I always swatch it on the paper that I'm going to try. So if I try a different paper, I will get like a have a test sheet and just swatch all the colors that I'm going to use. Just because different brands, different weights, they all react differently, just slightly differently sometimes, but still. And yeah, so these are all the colors that you get in the 72 plus 1 colorless blender. I really hope the light is not reflecting too much on it. And then here is a blending tutorial. This was, I do remember this being on the listing page that shows you like the colors and stuff. I will leave a link down below. to the page, the listing page for this for Amazon, as well as Ohuhu's website. They should still have it available on their website, I believe. So yeah, and then as I was saying, I was not expecting these, and they're flat. They're not crinkled, which is really nice. I wouldn't have expected that either. But yeah, we'll swatch them on here, and we'll also swatch them on the marker paper. So let's get to swatching. Okay, here are all of the colors swatched. So you'll notice that the only one that's not in there is the color Splendor. I mean, there's really no point in swatching it, because it's just, it gets rid of the, like, there's nothing, it's not gonna be anything on the paper. I guess if you wanted, you could like swatch the color of Splendor through each of these just to see what effect you get. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, you can't see it, but I have all of the markers. I put them, I wasn't sure if they'd be visible, but I put, yeah, they just surrounding me. Yeah, try and get them out of frame a little bit. So I did notice, it was really only on the greens. Some of them were pretty stiff. The brush nibs were pretty stiff. The first one that I noticed that was like that was Absinthe, which is this green right here. I don't know why. It's just the greens that, and it's not even all of them, it's just a few of them. But it didn't really seem to, like, deter, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so some of the things that I liked so far from just swatching them, they are very vibrant. I will say that you will probably need to do more than one layer just to get, because I did notice whenever I was like putting it on and then putting it, it was like getting, I'm not a marker aficionado or anything. I'm pretty new to markers, but I would say that, yeah, you will probably need to do more than one layer, especially if you want to blend the colors. So yeah, you'll notice that the brush side has this like little gray, I mean, it says brush in broad, but like if you're just picking it up and be like, what? Yeah, because you'll notice like a few times that I accidentally opened up the broad because I was just opening them. I wasn't really looking at that, but yeah, the gray means that's the brush, and like you want to be careful when you're putting them back not to like hit the brush on the insides because it'll ruin it. Another thing I liked were these little stopper tabs, so like it'll roll a bit, but eventually it like stops. So they won't really roll off your desk. You could just lay them down and they're good. Another thing I liked was just, you do get some pastels in this, and you get some okay skin color. I know they have a skin color pack, which I would like to get eventually. But if you're just getting like the broad pack with the 72, you do get a few colors that can be used for skin colors. A few that stuck out to me were salmon pink, raw umber, potato brown, and rose beige. Even terracotta you could probably use for a skin tone. You do get a lot of grays in this pack, which I guess isn't a bad thing, but it's just something that kind of stood out to me. It's a lot of grays, but I love the blues. Like blue and purple are some of my favorite colors, and the blues, especially the cerulean blue, oh, beautiful. And like the purples, I love this lavender and this pastel violet and the mauve shadow. They're just some gorgeous colors in here, very vibrant. Yeah, and I really love that it came with this little swatch sheet, because I was looking online trying to find one, because I know Copic has, I don't know if Copic made it or somebody else did, but there is a Copic swatch sheet that you can just print out, and I tried finding one for Ohuhu, but there wasn't one, but it came with one. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with like every single color, but I wouldn't say that's a bad thing, because it seems like they're still coming out with new colors since they just recently dropped the pastel color set. So yeah, I want to dive into the marker pad sketchbook thing. So yeah, this was fun, but I'm gonna try out the marker pads and see how they work, and the Fineliners. Alright, so let's open this up. So this is the Ohuhu 78 sheets. It's a square one, so I know like the square sketchbooks have been really popular recently, and so this one's a square sketchbook. The paper is 120 pound, so it should be great for markers, at least for the weight. And says create something wonderful today on Ohuhu marker pads. So that's what we're gonna do. Don't know what that is. Probably clay. I was just recently working on some polymer clay projects. So there's, I wiped the desk off, but there might still be a little bit of residue. So yeah, you get one of these, another one of these. I showed it earlier. It's the same as this. So you would just like stick it in between the sheets. And this one's not all crinkled, so that's nice because it was just stuck in the book. something I don't think I noticed in the listing was these are perforated, which I guess isn't, it's not a bad thing. I think that's pretty neat, especially if you don't want to keep it in this, or if you want to like scan it, it makes it easier to take it out. Oh, wow. I don't know if you can hear that, if my microphone's good enough for you to hear that thickness. These are thick. These are thick sheets. Okay, and it also has a little bookmark tab, so you can keep your place. So I did notice that there's like this, but it's on the very last page. And typically I do my swatches for any different types of pens that I'm going to use in new notebooks. I do it on the last page. So yeah, odd and disappointing, but not like a deal breaker for me. And then something I did not realize that I do like is that it comes with this little pocket. So if you have any like loose drawings or whatever that you don't know where to put, you can put it in here. And then the outside cover has this like really interesting texture to it. So if you're like drawing with waffles and you want to paint your cover, it might be a little different or a little difficult, but I think you could probably add a neat design to there. So yeah, we're gonna swatch, and I'm gonna stick this here as well. And we'll see how well how much it bleeds and all that. So yeah, let's start with the Fineliners, and then I will swatch the markers on here to see if they bleed, like I just said. Okay. The pens. Honestly, they did go down pretty smooth. They're very much like the microns in my opinion, with how they feel and how they went down. And so the marker paper, it did not bleed through, like it didn't even ghost really. Okay, so I'm just going to swatch the markers now, and yeah, I'm just definitely gonna speed through that because you guys already saw the marker swatch I did earlier. And like, this is definitely different paper. I would say it's very similar because it's still pretty thick, so it might be a similar thickness, but I still want to swatch it on this just to see if it ghosts and if it bleeds through. are the swatches. Yeah, so compared to the marker swatch paper, I would say the colors came out very similar. I guess some of the lighter colors do look a bit darker. And some of them even look like the Y3 looks lighter here. But yeah, the Y4, yeah, I would say these look a bit lighter, but not that noticeable. So comparing the cap to the swatch, I picked R8 because that one to me was the most noticeable. So this is beautiful red, but doesn't look anything like the swatch at all, really. But yeah, so that's why you always want to swatch your paper with whatever materials you're using. So again, here are the pens, and then I also did a layering test. So here is a lighter shade, which is R9, and a darker shade, which is R8. And this is 1 layer versus 4 layers. You can definitely see a difference in the lighter. I would say there's a little bit difference in the darker one, but it's not as noticeable to me. Yeah, so as for ghosting and bleed through, not too bad for the ghosting. So this is layer 4 for the layer test, and there's a bit more ghosting, but it's not too bad. And this is the colorless blender test that I did, and you can definitely see it bled. It seemed like it tried to bleed, but the ghosting is most noticeable with that. So if you're going to use this for layering or a colorless blender, I would definitely put this guy between your sheets. Or if you don't have one of these, just put another piece of blank paper underneath. But yeah, I think I like the Ohuhu. I do hope they come out with some individual colors, so you don't have to keep buying packs just because you ran out of like a handful of colors. But I do hope they do individuals, or at least refills, like just one of those would be nice. I have heard rumors that they might do one, but don't take my word for it. But yeah, there aren't a lot of pastels, but they did just recently come out with the pastel set, so I'm looking forward to trying that in the future, as well as the skin tone set. I would love to try that one. Yeah, so I feel like this video kind of went a little long because I wasn't expecting to do like 2 swatch tests. So I will do a drawing in another video, which will probably like be back to back to this one. So yeah, I will do another like just a drawing type video in the future. Something I want to note, so you'll see a star next to R12 and these little splashes. These came from R12. I cleaned the brush and the cap, but I still marked it just in case it were to happen again. If I want to use it, I will know that's the marker that did it. And unfortunately there was some ghosting because of that, but I'll probably just use this page as another like swatch page. Yeah, so there's a lot of cars driving outside, so I'm sorry if you're hearing a lot of that background noise. But yeah, like I said, I'll do a drawing in another video so I can like compare how these like work together and blend together and stuff. But yeah, I will leave a link below for all of the items, the pens, the markers, and the book. So if you want to get any of these, you can. I'll leave the Amazon link and the link to Ohuhu's website in case you want to just buy directly from Ohuhu. But yeah, I like these. I'm excited to try them out in an actual drawing, and I do want to do comparisons. I actually have markers from a store. I wasn't expecting to it's a store that they have a small section of art supplies, but I was never expecting to see alcohol markers there, but they have them there, so I grabbed them. And I want to do a comparison between the Ohuhu and those markers, and maybe different brands in the future. But yeah, I just wanted to just do an Ohuhu brand test, especially because if you want to get the markers and you want a marker pad, like, the brand should work with itself, and I think it does. There wasn't any the colors look great on the paper. There wasn't any, I don't know what it's called, when it kind of just bleeds everywhere whenever you put the color down. It didn't do that. It just stuck to the paper. And yeah, I will say some of the colors, it was mostly the greens and the green yellow. The brush nibs were a bit stiff, but to me, as a beginner who's not really done markers before, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. It wasn't that big of a difference. It's just something I noticed. So yeah, it's starting to get dark. So I'm gonna cut the video off here. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped if you were on the fence of do I want this? Do I not want this? Nobody's that I've seen. I don't know if anybody's tested the book yet. I actually didn't look that up to see if anybody tested the book, but now you can see how Ohuhu, compares with itself. So yeah, again, hope this helped. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.